resilience, beauty. I'm Dragon Tamer Tony, and my mission is to share reptile education, my personal mistakes, and my journey conserving wildlife. Hey Dragon Tamers, I'm Dragon Tamer Tony, and if you're new, welcome to the channel because today we're going to be talking about an affordable indoor enclosure setup for your redfoot and geographical variant cherry-head tortoises enclosure setup for about the ages from hatchling all the way to about 2 to 3 years old of age, depending how fast your tortoise grows. That's the big factor. And I know you can go to your Target and get a 110 quart bin for 15 bucks. You can get a spray bottle from your local Lowe's for $3 for misting. And you can get a hide box from your closet by using a shoebox. Disclaimer, this is not that video though. Setting up the proper enclosure can be expensive from the bat. So this is why I want to share with you an affordable setup under $600 for your redfoot and cherry-head tortoise. The habitat, the lighting, the heating, the humidity, all of it without cutting corners. So if you've been thinking about getting a redfoot or cherry-head tortoise, stick around because I'll show you exactly what to do without breaking the bank. First thing first, when it's time to bring your tortoise home, people sometimes think, oh, you can stay in a small little cubby container, and that can work out perfectly fine. But bigger is not a problem with tortoises. They love to navigate their surrounding areas and become little adventurers. These tortoises can grow quickly for the first 2-3 years of life, so it's very important to have an enclosure setup that your tortoise can grow in. Hence, saving some money by not upgrading every 6 months. Let's take a pause real quick. Before you even buy your tortoise, buy the enclosure first. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. For the enclosure, I would recommend a 4x2x2 setup by Reptile tents. Shipping and everything, it came out to $170 total in the US. This gives your tortoise time to grow and have naturalistic behaviors. And most importantly, you want something that keeps in humidity. And this tent does a phenomenal job of keeping the humidity over 70% all the time. Some of the pros of owning this enclosure is that it's easy to set up, it's very lightweight, and it's affordable. To get something similar that is enclosed, you're gonna go up to New Age Pet, which is gonna cost you maybe like $50 to $70 more, and it's not gonna be completely enclosed. It's gonna have big vents up top, and it's gonna defeat the purpose of trying to keep the humidity within the enclosure. It's also a great alternative to a PVC enclosure, wooden enclosures that can be way more costly from the beginning. Just think about it, there's ones like Tote Ranch, there's Zen Habitats, Vision Cages, the list goes on and on and on how expensive a standard 4x2x2 can get. Now let's talk about the tortoise itself. A healthy redfoot tortoise will cost you about $100 for a non-morph or locale specific. With shipping, about $65 if it needs to be shipped to your house. And for a cherry head, it's gonna start you about $250 for, a nice colored one. For an extreme colored one, like this one you see here, he's very dirty, cost me around $700. And for morphs, they go into the thousands for both of them. So let's just say you're buying a redfoot tortoise. That's going to be about $100 and $65 with shipping, $165 total. So far we got the enclosure and the tortoise. Now we're sitting around $335. That's not bad at all. Now let's talk about heating and UVB lighting. Redfoots and cherry-head tortoises need UVB lighting to have healthy shell growth and bone growth. You have to remember, these tortoises are at their most sensitive state when they are young, and any little thing that you do wrong can prevent them from growing correctly and healthy. I'm here to help you to have successful, predictable outcomes for your baby tortoise. I would recommend for your UVB lighting system, Reptile T5HO. I use that, and I also use the Arcadia systems as well. The only pro and cons I would have between the two is that the T5 Reptile has the turn off switch and on switch actually on the system, so if you have the enclosure up high again on a rack or something like that, it might be a little bit cumbersome to turn it off, but the Arcadia has the switch actually on the cable itself, so it's easily accessible to turn on and off. The reason being you want at least a 24-inch UVB lighting system is because you want the spectrum to cover a broad amount of the enclosure. So let's say you're buying the Reptile or Arcadia
UVB system, it's gonna cost you about $62.99. Let's just round it up to 63 bucks for the 24-inch model. For basking, I use the Fluker Sun Dome. It's an 8.5-inch fixture with a hanger. That's very important. You want to be able to hang it up with inside the enclosure of the Reptile tents because it has, you know, the bars and everything, and you're able to just hang it there, and that's it. And it pairs perfectly with a 150-watt ceramic heater that I got from Amazon. I recommend the Lucky Herb 2-pack from Amazon. It cost me $16, and they've been working effortlessly 24/7 for over a year now. Now let's talk about humidity and hydration. Redfoot tortoises and cherryhead tortoises come from humid environments. My safest protocol is to use a humidifier over misting and spraying your enclosure throughout the day. Reason being, these tortoises are very sensitive, and you are higher the probability of getting a fungal infection from being too moist in substrate, and you'll get a lot of, you know, little white patches to eventually leading to shell rot. That is something you definitely do not want and completely avoid. Let's get this straight. Without the proper humidity, you risk your tortoise's shell health by possibly getting pyramiding on its shell and future health problems. Let's avoid that. How do I do it? I 100% recommend to you to invest in a Reptile Zoo fogger, the 4-liter one, and the newest model to be exact, because I have the old model and that sucker leaks from time to time and it always needs a cleaning. This one has been running 24/7, 7 days a week, like a workhorse, 30 days out of the month without no problems, without me having to clean it out. Do I recommend you to clean it out at least once a month? Of course, but I'm making this a lot easier for you. So for $55, you get a humidifier system. I got mine from Amazon, and no, this is not an Amazon sponsorship because my channel is so small, and yeah, I don't even have any links or anything set up for you guys to go to buy this stuff because I don't really care to get a few pennies from you. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to help you. A lot of other breeders will recommend cocoa coir mixed with other substrate products. And I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. For substrate, I recommend using just topsoil. Others will recommend mixing up other things like cocoa coir to help with the humidity, yada yada yada. But I have a successful predictable outcomes just by using topsoil, misting it multiple times a week, and the humidifier. They're just healthy, smooth shells, and I'm having no issues with respiratory issues, health issues, or anything of that nature. And on top of that, you're going to be changing out the enclosure anyway, the topsoil frequently, at least once a month. That's what I like to do. I like to switch out the topsoil once a month, and this topsoil that I buy, it has no chemicals, it has no fertilizers or anything like that, and it costs under $3. But we're going to round it up to $3 just for the sake of it because I suck at math. And of course, you're going to need a food dish and a water dish, and I've repped it. I recommend the Reptile Rock food bowls. I recommend, guys, I'm sorry. I recommend the Reptile Rock medium-sized food dishes. They're phenomenal, and the most important thing is they're so shallow. So when your tortoise walks over it, it's not gonna tip over and flip over and have a higher probability of drowning. Ask me how. I was using the terracotta dishes, and sadly, I had one of my most, I never spoke about this. I lost a baby tortoise, one of my first tortoises. His name was Enzo. I was using what everyone recommended, the terracotta dishes, even with a few rocks in it, and I found them drowned in the water dish. So yeah, I don't recommend the terracotta dishes because they're a little bit slippery. You know, they have little concaveness on the sides. They're a little bit sketchy, and they can have some depth to them. And it's a little surprise when a little hatchling just walks in it and freaks out and flips over, and there you have it. I also tried a protocol by Sam in Florida on how to save, a tortoise from drowning after it has drowned, and I did it. It came back, but he sadly passed away anyway. So today we are burying who, Tom?
My tortoise, Enzo.
He passed away, he drowned. We're gonna bury him. Now let's add up all the costs. The reptile tent was $170. The Redfoot tortoise, a standard one, $100 from a reputable breeder. Shipping $65 FedEx overnight, US. Reptile Sun UVB, $62.99. Fluker Sun Dome plus the hanger, $25. Lucky Harp Heat Emitter 2-pack, $16. Reptile Zoo 4-liter fogger, the new model, $55. Topsoil, $3. Reptile Rock food dishes, $10. That brings the grand total. Hey Dragon Tamers, while editing the video, I've realized that I forgot to mention that you're going to need a digital thermostat to regulate the temperature from the basking area set at 95 degrees or a little bit less, and it's going to create a nice gradient from hot to the cool end. So for the digital thermostat, you're going to be paying $24.99, rounded up to $25 because I suck at math. Pick that up at your local PetSmart. It has been beyond reliable for me. That's why I've recommended it. Or the one at Petco. They're around the same price. Make sure to get the price from the online because online prices are cheaper than in-store prices. Most importantly, you're going to need a hide box. I recommend multiple hide spots within the enclosure, one in the warm end of the enclosure and one at the cool end. If anything, I would also recommend, in my instance, a large hide box. Put it in the center of the enclosure against the wall of the enclosure. Why? So you can have the nice gradient. If it wants the heat from the hot end, it can scoot onto the warm side of the enclosure. If it wants to be a little bit cooler, it can scoot itself to the cooler side of the hide box. You can buy a hide box online for about 20 bucks or less. If you ask yourself, wow, that's kind of expensive, then I 100% recommend for you not to get a Tortoise just yet, because that's not the only thing that's going to be expensive.
Your electric bill is going to go up.
My bill's very high. Very, 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 very high. Like, I could buy a new performance car high. So remember, with Tortoises, you're in it for the long haul, so every penny is worth it. I'm Dragon Tamer Tony, and if you have found value within this video, like, please comment. I want to get to know somebody. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Dragon Tamer Tony. Take care and enjoy your wonderful day, wherever you are. Sorry for pointing. I know that's like not really nice.